Hi, I'm Christine Jacob-Sandejas, TV host, anchor, mother of five, and this is my life at home. Well, I think the pandemic has definitely caught us all off guard. I mean, I never thought that in my lifetime I'd be able to go through and experience a pandemic such as this. And it was just that learning to live together, learning how to create the same schedules, and learning how not to get onto each other's nerves is something also that the pandemic has affected not only my family, but everybody as well. But luckily, like all things, we learn how to adapt, we learn how to manage, and we actually discovered the value more of health, of life, of each other. But at the end of the day, I am just so grateful that I do have my family together and that we have learned a little bit more about each other because of the pandemic. A lot of changes, stemmed because of the pandemic, and we had to do things that we never could do or never thought we could do, and things that we were forced to do. One of that for me would be the work from home. I am not a techie person. I don't know my lights and I don't know how to make these things work. But because of necessity, this is something that we learned how to do. So, as a mom, that it's also quite difficult because having to work and having to take care of your family and the menu and everything else, you also have to sit down and make sure that they do their work. So yeah, it's a little difficult. You can say that the pandemic has affected our work life in a different level. We have learned new skills and done new things that we never thought possible in the entertainment industry. For one, of course, this whole work from home. Originally, we only thought we could only really work in the studio. But necessity dictates that yes, the show must go on no matter what happens, and we have to learn to do all of these things at home. Learn to be tech savvy, which is something that I definitely was not born with. And I'm so happy that in my house, I do have sons and daughters that make this computer be the easiest toy in the world to play with. So this is my home setup. I don't know what it looks like from your end, but from my end, I make sure that my background looks good, and that's really the most important thing. Whatever is in front, that's okay because no one really gets to see it except you guys right now. Another non-negotiable would, of course, be the lights. And I'm sure all of you have already learned about the ring lights and whatnot. So I have one on top for my face, and I actually discovered this ring light that you can put it anywhere you want, but I seem to find that it helps underneath. I just like how it just illuminates me from below. And then these are for all of my extensions and hookups. And I have this one also, which we always need because aside from the Zoom, having to report or anchor from Zoom, the studio needs to be able to keep in touch with us at all times. So I just put my phone right there. And what is an anchor or a host without scripts? We just need my scripts. I need to scribble everything down. This is what it looks like, and I guess I can live with this. Except I really need a makeup artist to be at home with me as well. With all that's going on, I think one of the important aspects of coping with the pandemic is to be physically active. There are times that we can't really go out, we can't do a lot of the sports that we want to do or go to the gym. The best thing that we can do is actually we can just work out at home. You don't need a fancy equipment. Actually, it's nice to just stick with the basics. Of course, being physically active with a family of 5 kids, plus my husband, thankfully, we all like to do sports, so we like to do things together. We all go online and search for exercises that we can all do together as a family, whether we do all yoga together or swim together or play tennis or just even hit some balls in the garden. If you don't have much time, number one and crucial is jump rope. Once you have a skip rope, you are all set for your cardio, footwork, anything else. It's cheap and you can do it anywhere. And your basic push-ups or sit-ups or squats, I think, is one of the important things, especially as we age. That's it. Whatever it is, keep it fun, because this is something that you want to be able to maintain. Knowing that we're actually doing something for ourselves to make us physically strong, and maybe you start out with, you can't even do a push-up. But then if something that you do regularly, it becomes a lifestyle. From 0, all of a sudden you'll be able to do 5. And for that, you should already pat yourself on the back, because it's not easy, really. But these are all the little milestones that help us become a better person, because there are certain things in life that we thought we could never do, which is, go through a pandemic. And it's something that we all learn that kaya pala. Once you feel that sweat on your face, knowing that you really pushed your body, does something to you. Not only that, but it also teaches you discipline. It teaches you to push yourself, even when you thought that pagod na ako, I don't think I can go any further. But what's even better is doing it with the family. Whether I play tennis with my children, exercise with them, even just walk around the block does wonders as long as you do it together. Me being a swimmer, it's, one of my non-negotiables that all my kids need to learn how to swim. Lucky for me, we get to do it together. One of the good things that actually came out from the pandemic and from being locked down was that we got to spend more time together. And one of the activities that we enjoy doing, of course, is swimming. So I try to pass on some of my knowledge to them. Although they like to complain a lot, I'm sure, because they're like saying, Mom, I'm not a swimmer anyway. But I keep telling them, this is like survival skills. These are my non-negotiables when it comes to my kids. I mean, they all need to learn how to swim. And I guess it's more enjoyable if we could do it together. So this is it. Some of the swimming techniques or tips is basically just to swim efficiently. I teach them the somersault, and that's always one of the hardest things that all swimmers learn, right? This is somersault. And it's just learning how to breathe properly as well. Once again, this is really more for their survival and being able to, to use this when they grow old and teach their kids, hopefully. What is it about swimming? I still don't know, but I've been doing it for so long. I've put in over my 10,000 hours. Swimming has been so good to me. Once I'm in the water, I just feel relaxed. I'm able to de-stress, and it just takes me back to a wonderful time in my life, in my childhood, where it was just so amazing. Swimming is such a fun activity, something that the whole family can do, and we actually enjoy. I mean, lucky for me, right? But one thing that it does, it makes us so hungry. So now I have to come in the kitchen and prepare something that I know my kids would love to eat. Something like a Pure Foods deli breakfast sausage. We love having breakfast like all day long. It doesn't really have to be for morning only, and it's perfect. It's perfect. My kids really love it, so I'll show you how it's done. One thing that's also good about this is that it is so easy to prepare. I mean, you can prepare it actually in so many ways. One thing that's also good is that it is so tasty, delicious. It's seasoned. Oh, it is seasoned so well. My kids can't eat just one. I mean, I have to prepare a lot because I know it's just gonna disappear quickly. One thing about Pure Foods, which I like, and I'm sure other moms will agree with me, is that there's so many variants. There's so many to choose from, something for each of your family member. And for a mom like me with 5 kids, a husband, I mean, they all have their different wants, and we're all so busy. So we have to, try to manage our times really well. And, for me, I think that's really ideal. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to prepare my Pure Foods deli breakfast sausage. It's really quite easy. All you need to do is add 2 tablespoons of water and put it in your heated pan. And we want to steam our sausages first before we fry it. And of course, don't forget to take out the casing before you cook it. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here. Just put it nicely on your pan. You can probably steam this for about 1 or maybe about 2 minutes. Just wait for the water to evaporate completely before you can start frying. So now that, as you can see, the water totally evaporated, now I'm adding 1 tablespoon of oil. And this one will get that nice color on the outside. Like that nice golden brown, which I like. Just swirl it, make sure that they all get a little bit of the oil. And I can already smell it. It already smells so good. I just finished cooking several batches of Pure Foods Deli breakfast sausage, and it smells and it absolutely looks delicious. And now it's time to feed my kids. A lot of realizations and learning stemmed out of this pandemic, and one of them is to learn to value life, learn to value health. I've known a lot of people, unfortunately, that have caught COVID-19 and didn't make it, and it's quite heart-wrenching to know that something like this has taken away so many people. So value the time that you have with each other. Learn to love each other, knowing you just don't know what's going to happen the next day and the next, right? So that's one thing. And another thing is I guess just taking into account your mental health. Since we're all together locked down, we tend to do it on our own, but it just gets to be so overwhelming and taxing and exhausting to a certain extent. So we all need to branch out, whether it be you being more prayerful or whether it you just actually going out and seeking help from professionals or from loved ones. It just helps to talk about it. It helps that you do have somebody there that can walk you through whatever difficulties you may have. And at the end of the day, we're definitely not alone. And we just need to learn to reach out.
This program is brought to you by